again, it just tells the story of it's the evil and the ugliness of people's hearts these days is everywhere.
This is Franky Rose's Think Tank. Here's your host, Franky Rose.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Think Tank. So we've only got a few minutes before we see Wade Wilson get his sentencing. I guess I'll get rid of that banner. It's cutting me off. So yeah, we have just a few more minutes. Do you think everything that happened this morning at that Spencer hearing did anything at all to make the chances of him not getting the DP any more likely? What did you think of his lawyer, the defense's? What did you think of their witness, that Dr. almost, in my opinion, Dr. Doolittle? And what did you think of the prosecution's relatively impressive shrink? There was a distinct difference between the two of them. So personally, I don't think I see I don't think it helped him much. If anything, it might have made it look a little bit worse. He did not get up and talk to the judge, and that is one of the reasons that they do a Spencer hearing, is so that he would have an opportunity, or the convicted individual would have an opportunity to talk to the judge first before a DP sentence was issued to that individual. Yeah. Hey, Carrie. Good to see you, Keza. So help him go down the yellow DP road. I think it maybe did. I don't think it helped him one bit. His own lawyer, like, I don't know what I think of that guy. Not a whole lot. And like I said, when it came to the state, that guy was a lot more impressive. He knew what he was talking about, where the other guy was almost, he made you wonder what he was educated in. I don't know. So I'm thinking DP. Personally, I'm thinking DP. I am not sure if the families of these two ladies are going to get an opportunity to speak. A lot of times at this time, it's when we hear the victim impact statements. So I don't know. I hope they get a chance to say what they need to say, but I don't expect it to make one bit of a difference to him. I think both he won't care what they have to say and isn't capable of understanding, I believe, the emotions that come from losing someone. You know, he hasn't had the easiest life, but easier than a lot of people, that's for sure, right? And not everybody does what this guy has done. Not only did he delete them, but the second woman, he took her out of the vehicle and ran her over until there was very little left of her. What is that about? You know, you hear these sickos that go out and they, you know, different people, or they pew pew, but you don't hear very often, unless it's a personal situation, where the individual literally does something this horrid. Yeah, Keza, no remorse. I don't see any kind of remorse. If anything, I mean, it's hard to tell with all that crap on his face, but he almost looked like he was smirking a couple of times, in my opinion. If you have not watched the Spencer hearing, don't stop what we're doing here. But after we're done, go back and check out that Spencer hearing and listen to what they have to say and watch him and his mannerisms. I mean, oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Not anything you would... He doesn't care. Let's see. What do I do? There we go. It's another pet store telling me that they have more finches in. I know exactly what that was about. I think we're good. There we are. So yeah, I don't think that helped him one bit. I think he's probably going to get the DP. Yeah. Florida and Texas, they just have, in my personal opinion, a good way of dealing with everything. You know, sometimes these guys have to hang on for a while. Whoa, Jazzy. I mean, they've got the appeals and what have you, but some of them seem to go through a little bit faster. Oh, that's it. Hey, Misery, good to see you. Very good to see you. Well, yeah. I mean, it's almost like he's putting his personality all over his face. And it's not very... I don't know. It's not very cozy, is it? Yeah. Who was it that was saying this morning that just someone that her mom would pick, you know, see the red flags and go running towards that person? I don't know. Would he be as an obvious... I don't know if he's a psychopath. I don't know what the hell's wrong with this guy. I'm not a shrink, but he's off. And so, oh, I love that, Mexi. Thank you. Hit that like button. Nice. Hey, Sleuthin. Good to see ya. Hello, Dingo. Maxi, Keza. Yeah, we haven't seen you for a while, Misery. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, I really like that. I like that like. Good job, Maxi. Good morning to ya. Bright and early there, Dingo. So yeah, I am hoping that the families get a chance to speak to him. Just like I was saying, the sad thing is it won't affect him in any way, but you know, if they need to get something off their chest, okay. But I wouldn't be expecting... Yeah, I wouldn't be expecting remorse to show up on him. Yeah, that's what you were saying. Got a little windy in your part of Australia. Have you been taking a break? Yeah. Yeah, I understand that. That's it. Yeah, I mean, DP is sad and all, but we can't keep every nutball who does these type of crimes as a weird pet. Nice. Well said. Isn't that brilliant? A weird pet. Right? What are you doing, Jazzy? Furball Dutch? Yeah, that's what we're waiting on now, Dingo. We're waiting for the court to start up here again and see if he gets a DP. Yeah, that's the thing. If it helps them with their closure, absolutely. As long as they're not thinking that he's going to feel bad about it. Because no, not so much. He's absolutely one of the creepiest guys that I've seen since I started doing this a few years ago. He's definitely one of the creepiest. I mean, we do have Rex Heuermann and the Brian Kohlbergers out there. But, well, Rex can give you kind of that creep factor, can't he? And so can Kohlberger, but not quite the same way. Yeah, he's 23 years old. Yeah. And I hope that doesn't go into a factor or be a big factor for these guys, because just like you're saying, Mexi, he caused a lot of chaos in a very short time. And I don't think he's mad, but his actions were mad. Just blows me away what people will do in this world. The whole running the woman over. Oh my God. Like, really? What would make you do something like that? Bad enough that he unalived her, but to show that disrespect to her remains like that, it's like, are you freaking kidding me? And 23 years old, I actually thought he was older. Probably due to the fact he's caused so much chaos. Hi, Renata. Good to see you. Welcome back, friend. Yeah, I think that had a lot to do with it. Well, I think that was a factor in things, Dingo. I think that was a factor. They were talking about what we used to call snow back in the 80s. They were talking about that stuff. So was he playing with cola? I don't know. But one thing I do know is it does change you, kind of like alcohol. If you're an arsehole and you drink, you just turn into a bigger arsehole. And I just, watching him this morning, we concentrated on him quite a bit. I just really could not believe the lack of care that was coming across from him. It was, no, that's enough now. No. Yeah, I think he's psycho too. It was interesting. Enough. That's enough out of you. Sorry, guys. She's telling me now. My little funny farm. She's literally sitting here. She got little gums up. Me. Like she's going to tell me off. She gets that saucy little look. It's my own fault. And here she comes back. Yep. Just like having 2-year-olds running the house. So I'm not quite sure. We're going on 10 minutes past. I'm not quite sure what the delay is. Oh, no. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Let's get this show on the road. Yeah, HE double hockey sticks. I haven't heard that for a little while. HE double hockey sticks. And 23 years old. Like, realistically, realistically, he's just still like really young to have his head so messed up. Again, nature or nurture, guys. Wow. I'd love to know what the delay is. I think this court is pretty much straight business. They seem to be on time and, from what I've seen so far, very fair. Oh, well said, Mexi. A jack-o'-lantern tattoo on your face. Holy, this guy. Oh, it's just like, what? And then he had stuff like those evil stickers. Well, hello, Shauna. Yeah, like what? He's got tattoos. It looks like a dick on his throat. It's like, what? Oh my God. And then writing. Yeah, like a voodoo doll mouth. Right? It's just like, oh my God. Yeah, it's just like, whoa, buddy, you're no help to your own self. Let's get this show on the road. I'd love to be a mouse right about now. Right about now. Yeah. And do you know what? Like, those eyes are so black. It's like, oh, nice, Shauna. Yes, things that make you go, brah. Getting closer, Shauna. I hope you're taking pictures. Yeah. I don't even, what's that one that he's got on the one side of his face that's just kind of in shading? I don't even know what that is. And then he's got, I don't know, some little saying. And then he's got like those stickers, a big one on the side of his head and another one on his forehead. It's like, what? What was he staring at to his right? Well, he did have one guy back there that seemed to be possibly a friend of his. That great big black guy with the, I don't know, braids maybe in his hair. Hello. Good to see you, Pam. So, yeah. Hello. Nanu. Yeah, the black eyes. I mean, anytime his face would appear, I would be looking at his eyes and trying to figure out what some of that stuff is on his head. Oh, yeah, exactly. Literally, one of the programs I was watching said, now this was a while back, a week or two, are saying that he has received over 400 letters from women. 4,000. What would the interest be? All he's going to do is talk them all into sending him money. I mean, come on, feed my canteen. I need some money for my canteen. I don't know. And allegedly, there's one woman possibly in the audience or the gallery or whatever you want to call it, that could be a fiance. I was told pink and blue hair. I haven't seen any pink and blue hair yet, but we don't get a really close look at the audience either or the gallery. Oh, like his eyes. That's the thing, Dingo. Yeah. Crazy fans. Like, why would you want, what would you have to say to this guy other than psychiatric questions, which I'm not, but I would like definitely want to say, hey, what's going through your head when you're doing something that stupid? Oh, yeah, Maxie, that lady, the attorney that was sitting right beside him. Oh, yeah, he was eyeing her up. And I just kept thinking, oh, is she safe? I wouldn't want to sit directly beside him. But, I mean, I guess they do it to show that he's not a danger to women. Look at how well they like him. Yeah. Ew. Ew. Well, I wish we would hear what the hell's going on. I wonder if there's, I wonder if they're in the process of maybe talking about a plea. I wonder. Wouldn't that be interesting? Oh, I know. Yeah, unless it's like questions dealing with psychiatric issues, I don't. Ew. Yeah. I imagine maybe at one time before the tattoos and all of the stuff that's happened to him mentally, maybe he could have been good looking at one point, but that's gone. The shite that he's done to his face and the attitude that he has. I have not listened to any of these phone calls yet, but I think I'm going to. Sounds like it gives a person a good idea about what kind of human he is. Now it sounds like they would be yucky, I guess. They would be yucky, but at the same time, I'm very interested in knowing what his disposition is a little bit more than what I do. Bargain Basement Deadpool is 30 years old. So he was 26 or so at the time of the, okay. Bargain Basement Deadpool. I don't think I know what that is. Do tell, do tell. Are we talking about this guy? Is he the Bargain Basement Deadpool? Thank God I did not get that treatment. I did give it, mind you, but I never got it. Any ideas, guys, as to why we would be running this late? What are your thoughts? What do you think could be happening behind closed doors? Let me see. Yep, that's right. That's right. You didn't want to. You did not want to fall asleep while partying. Yeah, sidebar. They haven't even gone on the record yet, as far as I know. So I'm a little confused. The only thing that's going through my head right now is a possible plea deal. I think it was pretty obvious this morning that he did not make any points. So wouldn't that be something? If that's the case, I would really feel bad for these families. And in order for him to plea, what would he have to have in his pocket? I'm really curious. What else would he have in his pocket that would get attorneys to stand up and go, oh, okay, well, tell us more about that, and we'll take away the DP. The only thing I can think of personally is another victim. That's the only thing I can think of, because I think that they pretty much know what has happened here. The kiosk. What kiosk? Mexi? Meki Teki? What kiosk? Yeah, I know, Keza. That's kind of the thing that's kind of where my head is. You would have to have something pretty good. Nope, no, no. No, no, no. Nada. Well, that's what I'm wondering. Maybe his lawyer is doing a deal, but wouldn't that at this point entail having to give something over to the prosecution? Something they don't know, something that would make them think that the DP is worth putting aside for certain information. But I can't really think of what he could possibly have that would put a halt. But I am very, very curious why we are now what? How far into this? 24 minutes late? 25? Oh, here we go, guys.
Fortunately,
The devils. All right.
all right, let the record reflect that State's President, Defense Counsel.
Crank it up, guys.
Present. We're here for sentencing. Was there anything else that the court needed to address prior to sentencing? All right. So I have considered all of the testimony and evidence, arguments of counsel, applicable case law, and statutes. I have prepared a written sentencing order, which I'll file contemporaneously with the pronouncement of the sentence here today. I also have copies for the state and defense, which I'll hand out once I conclude. So in the state of Florida versus Wade Stephen Wilson, case number 19 CF 568. The court will read aloud the portion of the sentencing order related to the sentencing circumstances and proportionality. In evaluating the aggravating and mitigating factors, the court does not engage in a mere counting procedure, but instead makes a reasoned judgment based on the totality of the circumstances. In reaching this decision, the court is mindful that because death is a unique punishment in its finality, its application is reserved only for those cases where the most aggravating and least mitigating circumstances exist. The law never requires the imposition of a death sentence. In this case, the totality of the circumstances indicates the defendant, with premeditation, beat and strangled Christine Melton in her home before stealing her vehicle and driving to meet his girlfriend, Melissa Montanez. After Montanez refused to get into the car with him, the defendant battered her in broad daylight. The defendant told law enforcement, when Ms. Montanez managed to flee from the defendant, he fled the scene and drove back to Cape Coral, where he decided that he would murder another person. He saw Diane Ruiz walking to work and pulled over, pretending to ask for directions. She got into the car to provide directions, but the defendant strangled her when she tried to exit. He then drove to an empty lot, strangling her into unconsciousness at least one additional time on the way there. When she tried to flee from the car, he drove over her at least one time, inflicting mortal injuries to her spine, ribs, and neck. The evidence showed that both murders were heinous, atrocious, and cruel.
I was
The second
mistaken.
murder was cold,
I thought he
calculated,
took her
and
out
premeditated.
after she died.
The defendant inflicted serious physical and emotional pain to the victims. Moreover, the defendant committed the murders while on probation for prior felony convictions, and he committed 2 first-degree murders contemporaneously with each other and with grand theft of motor vehicle, battery, and burglary of a dwelling. There were no statutory mitigating circumstances that were established, but the court considered the non-statutory mitigating circumstances presented by the defendant. Out of 13 enumerated non-statutory mitigating factors, the court found that 10 had been established. Out of those established, 6 were given little weight. The totality of the mitigating circumstances indicates that the defendant suffers from drug use from a young age, along with undiagnosed and untreated mental health issues of some kind. He felt abandoned by his biological parents, but had a devoted adoptive family who raised him in a supportive and loving environment. Defendant did not resist law enforcement when arrested and confessed fully to both murders. The court has further considered giving great weight to the advisory verdict of the jury, who recommended that the death penalty be imposed by a vote of 9-3 on count 1 for the murder of Christine Melton and a vote of 10-2 on count 4 for the murder of Diane Ruiz. The court recognizes that there is no mathematical formula for considering the aggravating and mitigating factors. It is not enough to weigh the number of aggravators against the number of mitigators. The court carefully considered the nature and quality of each aggravator and mitigator. Having reviewed all of the aggravating factors proven beyond a reasonable doubt and all of the mitigating circumstances reasonably established by the evidence, the court finds that the aggravating factors greatly outweigh mitigating circumstances. Given the facts of the case, nothing in defendant's background or mental state would suggest that a death sentence is inappropriate. This court's review of other reported capital cases has led the court to conclude that the death penalty is not disproportionate in this case. Under the totality of the circumstances and evidence, the court finds no basis to override the jury's verdict. The totality of the circumstances warrants that the defendant, Wade Stephen Wilson, be sentenced to death for each count of first-degree murder.
Boom.
Accordingly, it is ordered and adjudged that the defendant, Wade Stephen Wilson, be sentenced as follows. Count 1, first-degree murder of Christine Melton. The defendant is hereby sentenced to death. Count 2, grand theft of a motor vehicle. The defendant is sentenced to 5 years imprisonment in the Florida Department of Corrections.
Before or after
battery.
he's
The defendant
gone.
is hereby sentenced to 364 days in the Lee County Jail. Count 4, first-degree murder of Diane Ruiz. The defendant is hereby sentenced to death. Count 5, the burglary of a dwelling. The defendant is hereby sentenced to 15 years imprisonment in the Florida Department of Corrections. Count 6, petty theft. The defendant is hereby sentenced to 364 days in the Lee County Jail. The defendant is given credit for all time served on this case on all counts. All counts are to run concurrent with each other, meaning at the same time. All statutorily mandated fines, fees, and costs as announced on the record are imposed, and the defendant is committed to the custody of the Department of Corrections for execution of this sentence as provided by law. The defendant is hereby notified that these convictions and sentences are subject to automatic review by the Florida Supreme Court. If he cannot afford an attorney to represent him in any appeal, the court will appoint one for him. Are there any other matters to present to the court? I'm sorry, how much? $17,500. All right. Any objection?
No, sir.
All right. That will be imposed then. Any other terms or conditions?
Oh yeah, he got DP.
There'll be no contact ordered with any of the victim's family members and anything else. All right. Okay. Well, in relation to those other cases, I know we have cases pending here in the circuit. Today is not the day to handle those. I would maybe put those, I could do it as early as September 16th. I believe that's Monday morning.
Yes, Your Honor. September 16th will be fine.
Okay. Well, I think it'd be more appropriate to handle that at a different time. So let's do that September 16th then at 9 a.m. for the other cases, which are case numbers
20 CF 16591 and 23 CF 15499.
Okay. And we have court on 16th, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Judge, if I may, he also has a VOP warrant on Broward County, Palm Beach County. I'm going to get in touch with the authorities over there, but if need be, we'll ask the court to ROR him on that VOP warrant so he can be taken up to.
Well, it's not a motion in front of me today, but if you certainly be able to file whatever you want to file, and
Yes, sir.
I'll consider it.
Thank you.
All right. Anything else? All right, sir. Then, Mr. Wilson, you will be fingerprinted and remanded to the Sheriff's Department. It'll be held without bond and for transport to the Department of Corrections when it's appropriate. If nothing else, then we're adjourned.
Wow.
And I'll give you your copies.
Yep. DP times 2.
Mr. Shirley.
And then
Well, one for the state, one for the defense. Thank you.
oh, they're fingerprinting him right there. Looks like it. What's going on here? Are they fingerprinting him? Off you go. Looks like maybe it was fingerprints. Over the big pond. So yeah, you got DP times 2. I didn't add up all the time, but he's got summer. I think he deleted a girlfriend and then he ran over somebody who needed directions somewhere, or the other person he didn't know. He didn't really know her. They really are. They really are. They really are. Looks good on him, though. So, yeah, I don't know how many grand total of years, and there was also some financial stuff that, of course, he won't be able to. They won't get their money from him because he's going to be hitting the hairy highway and jumping into a pit of hell. You know what? Just go. As far as he goes, just go. So, guys, thank you very much for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and hit the bell. I do stream randomly. So we will see what happens. I've got the date written down in my book. We'll see if there's anything else going to happen. If so, I'll bring it to you. So, guys, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.